Hi everyone, what's up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Groovy Plant Addict. So if you can hear a lot of noises or whatnot, those are the construction people working. We're getting the kitchen redone. So again, I apologize for any of the noises. So today we're going to be talking about succulents, how I propagate them, how I pot them, the soil mixture and whatnot, how to fertilize them, and everything in general about succulents. Okay, so with that being said, first I'm going to show you guys how I behead my succulents and how I put them into like a little container or a terracotta pot. I prefer a terracotta pot as it is more airy and it has more aeration in it. So for example, if my succulent gets too big, I will cut this off. We also always want to take any of the dead leaves off just because it's not cute. And I really don't think it's that good for the plant to have all this dead mush everywhere. Let me zoom in. So I'll have my beautiful plant like so, like this. I'll cut it. Then I'll take whatever I have to on the leaves, and then I propagate the leaves with leaf cuttings. And then I'll let it grow, and it'll grow tall again, and then I'll cut it again, and then each leaf will become perfect. Well, almost perfect. The top does not grow like back to normal basically, but it will grow longer, and then you could take more of the leaves and then plant the leaves to propagate them. So when I behead a succulent, I basically put this in a terracotta pot. It has a very airy mixture. It's like cactus soil to the max. I use a lot of perlite, and these I can't even pull except for this one, which is starting roots. I had just put this one in here, but like for the most part they are doing really healthy. I just put a mixture of cactus like type succulents in here, basically succulents that require the same care, which I'm pretty sure all succulents do. But when I first had planted this, I let it dehydrate all the way, and all the leaves turned very wrinkly, and then I give it water, and then I water it like once every 5 days typically. I don't let the soil dry out all the way, but it's a succulent, so I let it dry out in an extensive amount. So basically the way I propagate them is I have a tray right here. I had a whole bunch in here yesterday, but a lot of them had taken root, and a lot of them I had just wanted to pot up. So I make sure that this soil is damp and then that it dries out. You don't want it being too wet, because if it's too wet, your succulents will turn to mush. So this is not a good succulent. And I'm going to show you guys what a clean cut for a succulent is. Okay, so for example, a clean cut, let me see if I can focus this. A clean cut for a succulent would be basically making sure you get a stem cut. For a succulent would be make sure you get a stem cutting, which means you get it off of the stem perfect. So just like that. So basically what you want to do is get perfect clean cuts off of the stem. Not broken cuts, but literally just like it's easy to pull off type of cuts. Sometimes some plants are harder to pull off. I've noticed the jade plant is a lot harder to pull off. So for the most part, I try to make it look nice, like there's a bottom or whatnot. You could technically just leave a stem and no leaves, but personally I prefer to leave leaves so it can photosynthesize and the plant will grow a lot faster versus growing tiny little baby plants. This one will actually grow a lot faster. Before I re-water this, I'm going to make sure it is 110% dehydrated, that like I haven't watered it. So after it dries, I probably let it stay dry for like a couple days. They tend to like to be on the more drier side of plants. And before I start plucking all of the leaves off, I do make sure I have a healthy plant. I do make sure I water it and it is previously fertilized at least once or twice, so the success rate is a lot more. So if you could hear like munching, I'm so sorry, that is my doggy. So right now I'm going to show you how I would propagate this one. Actually, I had wanted this one to grow a lot taller before I had propagated it. But for video purposes, it is perfectly fine with me because I'm going to behead it, propagate it, and then put this back of the head back into the soil. So the way I propagate them is I will use stuff like this in a 2.5-inch container. So right here, I have all of, well, not all, this is some of my propagations. So basically, I let them get a decent amount of roots or a sign of growth or a sign of root. And once they do, I arrange them into a pot. So some of these have one. And that's how it's growing. And some of them have multiple, as you saw. So with this, I will water it, and then I'll make sure it has a good amount of water on the leaf itself. And then I'll let it dry out all the way before I re-water it again. This is, at this point, it is like more succulent-like, and it doesn't really need a lot of propagation type help with more water. So basically all of my stuff in there have either roots or a sign of new growth that I found good, or I just wanted to move them out of my mini propagating station. So I do have my leaves right here. I'm going to make sure I get my shears, which they are clean. I cleaned them before I got done with them yesterday. So I'm going to make sure I take a really decent cut. So I'm just going to twist one of the stems or leaves off, that's what I mean, yes, leaf. So I'm twisting the leaves off, so I make sure when I cut it that it's a very nice cut. And then I'm going to be laying these stems to propagate. Each of these leaves will make a brand new plant. And I really, really love this plant because I love the pretty ashy color it has. I know they say it's best not to touch the plant because your oils mess up the thing. Like the ash, basically. Destiny, leave that alone. My dog is playing with the old can of her food. Okay. And yes, I do put my succulents in terracotta pots. Unless if I'm propagating them and they're super small, I have dog food on my hand. So I'm going to twist it and get a perfect clean cut. So basically, I'm just twisting them and then I'm getting a perfect clean cut. I'm trying to show you guys. And then stop licking my foot, Destiny. Why are you licking me? And then I'm going to be twisting them. Just keep twisting them. And I do this first just so when I cut and I behead the plant, I get a very nice cut. That no leaves are in the way. And then I typically lay my leaf cuttings in rows. So the way I will pot this is I typically have a stick or a pencil, something I just poke in the dirt. I make a nice hole in the dirt, even though this dirt is very loose already because it's not wet. And then I will stick it in the dirt. If the stump is too long, which I do a lot, I will then trim it a lot more. So basically, I'm going to be leaving the succulent like this in the soil, and it will eventually take root. In my experience, I can't even talk. In my experience, it's taken a while for it to take root, probably around a month or so. I definitely say the more tropical plants are more easier to take root a lot faster. The way I recommend doing this one is just watering it and letting it dry out. Not all the way, but keep watering it a decent amount and then back off. So normally I keep it relatively damp on the moisture meter, like a 3, so it's almost dry but not all the way dry. And then when it has more roots, I then water it and let it dry out, and then it'll grow a lot faster like that. So right now, the door is open. They are on their lunch, I believe, something like that. So I'm gonna show you more of my succulents that are outside. Okay, so these are all of my, well, most of my plants that are more outside friendly type of plants, and I feel like they will do a lot better in an outside environment. Those are sticky traps that I had got. Let me show you more succulents that I have. So as you can see, this poor succulent right here, I had cut down to a stump, and it is now growing back little babies. And it's taken a while, probably like 500 years. Just kidding, not that long. So I have a lot more succulents. I have a whole bunch, actually. And then these are my propagating stations right here. So we have the green one with the ones with more growth, the one that I just showed you. We have the purple one. We have those ones that are just small plants in 2.5-inch pots. So over here I have some poor succulents that they were struggling. I had them out here and it was watering, it was raining. So it started to rot. I gave it a whole bunch of sun and the color got back, and I also gave it a hydrogen peroxide treatment. So a lot of these started dying and they had bounced back. Not really dying, but like they had got overwatered. In California, there was this like whole time where it was like raining a lot. And I had them out here, which is probably bad. Probably shouldn't do that. But I also cut this plant up into like 3 different sections, and now they're going back. And then these are the ones I'm propagating, just in soil. And this is one of my string of hearts that I have. In my opinion, when you take jade cuttings, they take a longer time. And this is one of my succulents that is growing back. This one was really big, and I had divided it. I have ones with spikes as well. This one I take into cuttings, and I just plant directly in the soil. My string of hearts, my string of pearls, I just wrap it, and now it's slowly coming out of the pot, which I could just lay it down there and it'll take more roots. So I also have these really, really pretty succulents right over here, and I like keeping them in the sun so they get a decent amount of sun and a decent amount of water and whatnot. If it gets too hot, I do take them in, and I do check them all the time. I like sun stressing these ones specifically. They get super pretty. These are string of pearls, string of bananas, and string of dolphins that I have grown on my own from cuttings on my own plant. I am just waiting for them to become super full before I could even sell any of them. Thank you for all who support me on my YouTube channel. I am going to be doing a giveaway at 300 subs on YouTube and 400 followers on my planty Instagram at Groovy Plant Addict. Please tell me what videos you'd like to see. Tell me what you like about my channel, what you don't like about my channel. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, I don't tell you. But thank you again for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And thank you. Have a groovy planty day.